So the biggest challenge what customers have if they start implementing advanced technologies like AI or cloud-based stuff, all the cool stuff, is having access to the right data. I forgot who it was, actually, without the right data, you're just somebody with an opinion, yeah? And it is the same is probably true from an AI system. If you don't have the complete data, and you have the complete data sets, which is normalized and contextualized and in the right quality, your analyzers are probably not as good, yeah? So I think that's where people are struggling in make sure that we got the right data. And the new generation coming in doesn't necessarily know what's happening on the plant floor and the automation in the space. So having that combination, and I think we're filling that gap. So we understand that the OT space, we are OT people, we understand what's happening on the plant floor, but we actually also understand the needs of the IT team to make sure that we got the data. And that's why we said, let's make sure that we're well positioned between that OT layer and that IT layer, so we can give the IT layer the right data while not disrupting, and make sure that the OT layer stays secure.
The IT department has been in the cybersecurity battle for a few more years than the OT. It's a good idea to learn from that experience and build on it. And so the IT department typically doesn't have unmanaged switches in their network, for example. Unmanaged switches just don't have the features necessary to implement a defense in-depth strategy. So likewise, controls engineers would be better served if they replace their unmanaged switches in their networks today with fully managed switches like those made by Redline Controls to increase the security by implementing that defense in-depth strategy using those features that we talk about, the VLANs, the access control, other things like that that are built into a managed switch that an unmanaged switch simply does not offer. In addition to that, having managed switches will enable a controls engineer to make sure that his network aligns with the IT department, ensuring that they're able to work together and build a future state of our industrial networks that 5G and Web3 will require.
So most of the plant floors, the look of the plant floors right now, if you have new equipment that comes in, it usually has communications on it, because everybody's talking about data. They need data for scheduling, they need data for process improvements and all that stuff. But typically, if you're in a plant similar to Redline Controls that's been developed over the last 40 years, there's older pieces of equipment or there's panel meters that are installed that they do not offer communication. And when you look at an entire view of your plant floor, you're missing some elements. And that's really where we see the need for the PM50, is to be able to go in and replace those old panel meters that just offered a display and allow that customer to pull that data through communications back to be used so they can increase the view of their plant floor.
And I asked, how do you see FlexEdge? I said, is it a protocol converter? He said, yes, it can do that, but it can do more. So is it an IoT device? Yeah. It is an IoT device, but actually can do more. We also talk about a feature called NAT, which is a networking feature. I said, is it a NAT device? It is a NAT device, but it actually can do more. I said, what is it then? What is it then, the FlexEdge? And he said, it is the ultimate edge device. The reason why FlexEdge is so unique is that we're packing all that functionality on a single box with a single piece of software, as some people would call it an appliance. And we manage and own that appliance completely. And we can remotely manage it, and that makes it unique. All those features we pack in our Crimson software, combined with that ruggedized hardware with FlexEdge, and then the different options we have, Wi-Fi connectivity, cellular connectivity, multiple communications, additional I/O, makes it a unique package, which actually nobody else in the market has. And that's why people love our ultimate edge device, the FlexEdge.
All of the switches in our network properly. I only did the ones that were involved in the conversation.
And so a better approach would have been to have switches that are automatically configured for IGMP. So there's a feature in the switches called automatic IGMP snooping. And what that does is that makes sure that multicast is always treated properly, and that multicast is never treated as broadcast, meaning it's going out to everybody. It's instead going to a group, and to hear that conversation, to participate in that conversation, you must be a member of the group. And that keeps the conversation local to the application, where it doesn't go to every other device on the network and shut everything down.